and gentlemen, welcome back to another Zoomer Sports Radio episode. Tonight, we're going to be doing a little pregame show for the Illinois Baylor game. We've had some great games this week. Michigan State beat Duke. We saw Kansas beat Kentucky. It's been a great first couple of weeks of college basketball, and that continues tonight with another top 5 matchup. A very exciting matchup. I'm looking forward to this game.
I know, but there's been so many upsets early. Obviously, Villanova, Virginia Tech, San Francisco, Virginia. That's what so much. Yeah, Richmond, Kentucky. That was a big one because Richmond's not ranked. They're 19. But this is the beauty of college basketball and why it's superior to the NBA. And it's anyone can win in this game. It's not like the NBA where you know the Lakers are going to win. You knew the Warriors were going to. You knew the finals for the 4 years was going to be Golden State versus Cleveland. You knew that was going to happen. You just did. That's why I like college basketball. It's unpredictable. And UMBC Virginia, no one expected that, and UMBC blew them out and won by 20. That's why, and it's just so much more energy and passion. That's why college basketball is better than the NBA.
Yeah, no, you were right on the money. I watch NBA games. I can only watch the playoffs maybe. First 2 weeks, opening week's always great, but other than that, it's just like watching grass grow, the paint dry. It's nothing exciting. NBA regular season, it's a snooze fest. Compared to college basketball, you got these. You obviously won't have it this year, but you got these electric atmospheres. College game day, the Cameron Crazies. You have all these amazing fans.
The Orange Crush. Don't forget them.
The Orange Crush, and they get outside the stadium. They tailgate and they camp outside of the stadium, outside of the arena to watch the game. Just very passionate fans, and the atmosphere surrounding college basketball is what makes it so much better. And it's so much more unpredictable. Any team can win on any given night. And we're seeing year after year more ranked teams fall to unranked teams. And that's the madness of March and the madness of really the whole college basketball season that makes it really exciting. I have a question on that. Do you think that
Go ahead.
Over the years, do you think that the top teams have gotten weaker? Or do you think that the bottom is
for sure.
stronger?
Look at just example one, UCLA. They used to be the superior team under John Wooden with Lou Alcindor, who was obviously Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Bill Walton, Reggie Miller, Jamal Wilkes, all these guys. And now look at them. They're the most overrated team in college basketball, UCLA. They're always ranked to start the season, and then they can barely make it into March. They always lose in the first 4 or get upset lose as a 12 seed. Not even get upset. The last competitive UCLA team was when it was TJ Leaf, Lonzo Ball, Bryce Alford, Thomas Welsh. I haven't seen a competitive UCLA team since then. And then they've had guys that have gone to the NBA like Aaron Holiday since then.
Yeah, a lot of the prospects have not become the players we thought they'd be. Obviously, Chris Wilkes, Jalen Hands, Thomas Welsh, just to name
I actually
a few.
have a Jalen Hands jersey.
You did?
I do. I have a number 4
was,
UCLA jersey.
I thought it was Norman Powell.
They both wore number 4, so it could be Norman Powell or Jalen Hands.
Whatever you want. But, your point about UCLA, they're irrelevant. They're like USC football. No one watches them anymore. Nobody
Exactly. That is the perfect analogy.
Yeah. Two LA schools, both underachieving. Can Mick Cronin bring UCLA back to relevancy? They made a run last year. Would they have made the tournament? Maybe, but just making the tournament is not the expectation at UCLA. They don't even settle for Pac-12 championships. If you're the coach at UCLA, that is a top 5 job. That's a top 3 job if you consider
their whole history. Yeah, UCLA used to always run the Pac-12. Now, obviously, you got teams like Arizona and Oregon now run it, and then Stanford's always competitive. Cal Berkeley's normally competitive. Arizona State's on the rise now. This Pac-12 conference is getting better because this was statistically one of the worst conferences the last couple of years.
Yeah,
but it's on the rise.
Yeah, outside of Oregon State and Washington State, we've seen all of these teams get to the tournament in recent memory, and all these teams have been competitive amongst the top of the Pac-12. UCLA, ever since Lonzo left, hasn't done much since. But definitely a lot of ground to make up the next couple of years.
All right, Pat, just before we start talking about tonight's game, my Illinois Fighting Illini versus the Baylor Bears. I just want to mention a quick score update. With 25 seconds remaining in the first half, Mizzou is beating Oregon, number 21 Oregon, 42-31. That would be an upset.
Yeah, no doubt. I think that people might be overestimating this Oregon team this year just because of how good they've been in past years. Obviously, they lost Peyton Pritchard.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
And Kenny Wooten and some other big name players. But this is the season opener for Oregon. I think they're still trying. I think they're in a rebuilding mode, so it's going to be safe. It's definitely not the most talent they've had. Obviously, when they brought in Bol a couple of years ago and got injured, I mean, they don't really have the recruits necessarily this year. But I think that they'll still be fighting amongst the top of the Pac-12 with teams like Arizona State. There's not going to be – I think that if there's any team that can slide, it'd definitely be Oregon. And I think that they're going to have to make up some key positions this year. And it's going to be a good game.
Yeah, obviously. But the game we all want to know is the 2 versus 5. Obviously, Pat, I'm going to give you a key player for the Fighting Illini for Brad Underwood's team. And this guy has to be good. And I know you're probably thinking I'm going to mention one of 3 players. I'm not going to mention him. The key player for the Fighting Illini is DeMonte Williams. He is the glue to that core of Io, Adam Miller, and Kofi Coburn. If DeMonte's not performing, the rest of our aren't, because DeMonte gets everyone going. He is the scrappy player that will get tough rebounds, make clutch shots like that one versus Ohio, that 3 versus Ohio late in the game, last game. DeMonte Williams, he's not the flashy player like Io and Kofi are that get on ESPN. He's not. DeMonte's not going to the NBA. He's probably going to Europe after he's done with this year. But DeMonte Williams is like, that's why they named him the captain of this team. Him and Io. DeMonte Williams needs to play, and he always does. He's very consistent. That's why he deserved the starting job. If Alan Griffin returned and didn't go to Syracuse, I still think DeMonte would be starting. Yeah,
you said it perfectly. I mean, DeMonte Williams comes off the bench, doesn't put up that great numbers. Obviously, he was chosen as a captain for a reason. Doesn't put up the best stats, but he's like the Dennis Rodman as a guard. He's scrappy. He gets in there. He does whatever. He sacrifices himself to get the team the win, and that's what he's going to do every single night. And that's why, we don't talk that much about him because he doesn't do what shows up on the stat sheet. I know I'm repeating myself, but it needs to be put out there. This guy does not get enough attention, and he's the glue to this team, as you said. Every team could use someone like DeMonte Williams, and that's why I think Illinois will edge out teams like Iowa and Wisconsin in the Big Ten.
Oh, for sure.
And in a big game like this against a top 2 team, I think that's going to really show what Illinois has and what other teams don't.
And then what I've noticed, Illinois, here's what happens. Illinois has struggled in 2 fields, I would say, and they both have to do with shooting. The 3-point shot. Ohio killed them, and that's how they got into trouble and almost got upset, is their clutch shooters, Io and Trent Frazier, could not make the 3-ball. If Illinois wants to compete with teams like Baylor, Duke, Gonzaga, they need to be able to shoot their 3s consistently, at least 50%, because they were at 40% and almost lost. And if they make 3 more 3s, they win that game unscathed.
Yeah, I'm looking at the stats from the previous games. Obviously, the game against Chicago State and then North Carolina A&T. They shot fairly well from 3 in that game. And to be fair, they did play 3 games in 3 straight days. So
so did Ohio.
Yeah, but I think that fatigue, obviously Ohio did too. They got a really good player. I forgot his name.
Jason Preston?
Jason Preston, there we go.
Dude, that kid's a beast. He's going to go to the Big Ten after this year.
Yeah, no doubt. He's definitely got slept on as a prospect. But, yeah, I think that fatigue definitely played a factor in that game for both teams. Illinois is not a great 3-point shooting team, but definitely capable. And I think that they're just lucky to have, 4 full days of rest to prepare for this team. Whereas Baylor, I'm pretty sure they played. Did they play yesterday or Monday? Let me check.
Baylor played on Sunday. They played Washington and killed them.
They played Washington. Okay, so they had some time to prepare as well. But I think that another area that Illinois got to watch out for, they got to win the rebounding battle because
for sure.
Boyle, this guy, I saw a stat like he rebounds 25% of the other team and his team's rebounds, meaning that at that rate, he gets 50% of his team's rebounds. So you got to watch out for him on the glass. He's always anticipating the miss. He knows where the ball's going to be. He's going to go after it. They got to really box him out tonight, which you don't see that much. You see in college basketball, not all the guys box out. So they really got to watch out for Mark Vital for the Baylor Bears.
Yeah, Kofi Coburn's got to step up. Kofi, his priority should be to rebound, because if he rebounds well, the points will come. They will follow. I remember Stephen Barta was saying that exact same thing on the telecast versus the Ohio game last week. But what I got to say is Illinois is a very poor free throw shooting team, and that will kill you, especially in March. They have not shot above 75% from the line this year. Granted, they've only played 3 games, but that is god-awful. That's also what made you get in trouble with Ohio. They need to be able to shoot from the line, no matter who you are, no matter from Kofi Coburn all the way down to like Coleman Hawkins. They all got to shoot from the line.
Yeah, and the opportunities that they will get to go to the free throw line, they're definitely going to have to convert, because Baylor from last year, they're pretty good. They're definitely the better free throw shooting team. So they got to definitely make the most of their opportunities. But I think where Baylor could have an advantage is because of their backcourt. It's very experienced. Obviously, Jared Butler, a senior, he's going to be a finalist for the Wooden Award, I imagine, this year.
So is Io.
Maceo, yeah, but I mean, you're talking
for Baylor.
About.
Yeah,
I'm not going against Illinois. Trust me, I want Illinois to win, because as a Kansas fan, I hate Baylor. But you look at this Illinois backcourt. Adam Miller, a freshman, he's been playing really well, but he's a freshman.
Really well. He has no experience. That's the issue there.
Yeah, that's right what I was going to get at.
I mean, this whole Illinois team has no experience. That's the problem.
Yeah, I mean, Baylor's gone to the NCAA tournament. Illinois would have last year, obviously, but Baylor's been playing in the big games. They've been in the Sweet 16s. Obviously, Brad Underwood. I mean, he coached in the Southland Conference at Stephen F. Austin. So, he hasn't had that much experience coaching in the Power 5. I doubt that's going to be a factor this time. But, yeah, I think that there's definitely advantages both teams have. It's going to be a really good game.
Yeah, but Jared Butler, sorry about that. Jared Butler is definitely the key player for this Baylor team. If he doesn't perform, they don't have really like an extra scoring threat like say Illinois does with Io, Adam, and Kofi. That trio right there that can all score in the clutch moments.
Yeah, no doubt. And Jared Butler is also very good at averages 2.5 steals a game. Obviously for a guard, that's definitely he's going to get down on defense as well as on offense. But I think obviously Kofi Coburn, I mean, he's averaging I think 11 or 12 rebounds a game. Which
is what he needs to do. He needs to average double at least.
What he needs to do, he needs to use all 280 pounds of him to really box out. I mean, because he's going to be up against, I don't know if Vital's the biggest guy, but I think that he's probably going to match up with him well. I think that between Io and Jared, it's going to be a really interesting matchup from the guard position. And I'm going to say I don't know who I got winning this game. I would definitely want to say Illinois, but the stats and what I know from the teams makes me want to say Baylor. But
my heart's going to take Illinois, so I'm going to take – do you want to do our predictions right now? What we think the game will be? All right. My prediction for this game is I have Illinois winning this in a tight one. Illinois 76, Baylor 74. I think this Illinois team will barely edge them out because I think their ability with Kofi Coburn on the glass, if he gets the amount of rebounds he can, they can beat this Baylor team. I think Illinois has the toughness to do it, especially they're not going to want to be sleeping especially against that lack of luster performance versus Ohio. They're going to come out fighting. They're going to come out strong. Illinois is going to have a good start. I bet you Illinois starts on like a 13. I bet you Illinois up within the first 5 minutes of the game.
Yeah, I was thinking that Illinois is going to get on to a better start, obviously, because they had 2 more days to prepare. And obviously, I think that, there's going to be a little more explosive coming out the ball, whereas Baylor, from last year. They came from behind a good amount of times. They don't necessarily need to get off to a great start in order to win. I'm anticipating that Illinois gets off to a hot start and then Baylor comes back. And then starting in the second half, it goes back and forth throughout the game. I want to choose Illinois in this one, but my gut feeling is telling me that Baylor is probably going to end up winning. So I'm going to go.
It would be a better game. Next week's game, Duke-Illinois, would be way better if Illinois wins.
Oh, for sure. Better for college basketball
All
as
right,
well.
let's hear your prediction.
I don't think it's going to be a ridiculously high-scoring game, but I do think there are going to be some points scored. So I'm going to have Baylor winning 82-77.
Ooh, so you have a big margin there. All right, who's scoring more points?
I'm wrong.
All right, yeah, you hope you're wrong. All right, let's wrap this show up right here because the game's about to start. Pat, who do you think scores more points, Io or Jared Butler?
I'm going to say – hold on one second.
Personally, I'm gonna go. I'll say mine. I think Jared Butler will score more points because I feel like Io has more scoring options with him.
That's true, but I'm looking at the season statistics. Obviously, only a few games, but he didn't score. He wasn't a huge scorer last year, and this season he's averaging 18.5, whereas Io's averaging close to 26.
Yeah,
more scoring options, but I'm gonna go with Io scores more.
I might have to change mine after that. I think you might have convinced me to go with Io.
Yeah.
Well, all right.
Yeah.
So, all right. Do you have final thoughts before end the show or end the quick show?
I think this game is going to be definitely a pace setter for who's really legit in the Big Ten. Obviously, when Iowa and Wisconsin, Michigan State obviously had a big win last night, so they've set the bar. Can Illinois match that? We'll have to see.
All right, Pat. So this has been the show, and I'm going to leave the audience on a little cliffhanger. Pat, I'm going to tell you more info once the show ends. But on an episode upcoming, we might have a special guest join the show. Pat, we might have a Major League Baseball player join the show. We're not gonna let any names go out because we want to keep the audience on a cliffhanger. But just stick around because if you see that we post a Zoom episode, I think you might want to check it out because we might have a special guest on it. But thanks for watching, guys. Go watch this Illinois game and let's go Illini.